Welcome back to Sports Day. It's powered by Red Energy, awarded CanStar's most trusted energy retailer nationally for 2021. That's Red Energy. And for Wilson Homes, enjoy the Tassie summer in your brand new Wilson home. Well, it's been a chaotic week for the Melbourne Stars. As we know, a lot of players and coaching staff wiped out by COVID-19, one of which, David Hussey, the Melbourne Stars coach, who's been good enough to join us on Sports Day. David, thank you very much for your time.
Anytime, Matty. How are you?
I'm pretty good. How are you? Firstly, from a health point of view.
No, I'm tickle pink, rocket hot. Looking forward to getting back out there, actually. So, fit and firing and, just ready to play some cricket again.
So talk us through the timeline for you and your players in terms of when you contracted it and sort of when all the players got it.
Yeah, so it was about just over a week ago, the day of the Perth Scorchers game at Melbourne Stadium, our team manager tested positive to a rapid for COVID, and then he instructed the whole group, whole Star squad, to get together and complete a PCR test, and hopefully the test results come back that day in order to either postpone that game. And unfortunately, 15 of our squad members tested positive, and therefore the game was postponed. And then for the next 48 hours, I was busy on the phones trying to recruit some replacement players to play in the next couple of games for the Melbourne Stars against the Scorchers and the Renegades, which I thought they didn't do too badly. They performed well and represented the green of the Stars exceptionally well.
Yeah, I think they did as well, Huss. Great to be catching up with you, and it was good that they got their opportunity. Do you think it did have a major impact to, I guess, the quality of the Big Bash and certainly the Stars and the quality that you're used to putting out there? Do you think it might have been better to pause the games that you were involved with?
Well, it was hard to watch, Brycey, because you set the whole team up, the whole year up to play a certain brand of cricket. And selfishly, I actually thought we're just on the way up. We played a really nice game up in Brisbane. We fielded and bowled really well. Kept our plans really well, and then unfortunately, we all went down with COVID. So personally, I would have liked the competition to be paused for a week just so we can get our biggest and best players back on the park and fit and healthy and ready to play at the back end of the tournament. But unselfishly, I sort of can see where Cricket Australia is coming from and want the competition to keep going and roll on, because there's so many people out there that desperately love the Big Bash and want it to be played on the television. But I thought our kids that come and replaced our main stars, I thought they equipped themselves quite well throughout the last couple of games.
Such a difficult circumstance for you. So were you able to actually coach during the week virtually and keep in touch with the players about how you wanted them to play strategically in the roles, or did you just leave it to the filling coach like just?
In Virgin, I was just speaking via FaceTime, Zoom, Microsoft Teams, and a lot of text messages, which I hate doing. But fortunately, I've got really good coaching staff in Clint Mackay, who's brilliant with the bowlers, and he executes his plans or articulates his plans and communicates his plans with the bowlers perfectly well. And then Ben Rohrer with the batting. He was equally well equipped to handle that aspect from the couches from home isolation. But once they get on the park, it's all up to Chris Rogers, Jared Loughman, Dean Russ, and Adam Crossway as well, who all helped out on the days. And I'm very much thankful for them to giving up their holidays to help out the Melbourne Stars. And it wasn't easy, but we got it done. Unfortunately, we finished second on both occasions. But again, I thought they equipped themselves really well.
And David, how are the players now? I know that Glenn Maxwell is the latest positive in the last couple of days. How are they health-wise?
Yeah, so Glenn's a little bit flat. He's a little bit angry that he's actually developed symptoms. He's actually okay, which is comforting from a health point of view, but he's just got to ride out the 7-day quarantine isolation period and hopefully test negative twice, and he's free and flexible to come back and captain the Melbourne Stars. And the boys got out of isolation today. We had a brief run around the MCG today, which is of low intensity, and I think everybody's at a different stage with their illness and recovery. And we played a couple of days' time against the Adelaide Strikers, and it's more about building up slowly and surely and make sure we don't have any soft tissue injuries before the back half of the season, which the games will come thick and fast. We know that we're going to make up 2 games now, and we'll just see how we go with that.
And Dave, it's a hard one to manage because, I mean, you get the 7-day isolation period, and then I suppose people just expect, well, professional players just to come out and then just keep, start playing again. But I mean, they've gone through a bit of an ordeal. They've got family they may have infected, and mentally they might be suffering as well. So, for you as a coach, this is a hard one to manage. It's just not as simple as there's your 7 days, let's go and play. There's more to it than that.
Oh, there's massively more to it. I speak to all the boys individually, and they're all suffering from a little bit of anxiety. What's going to happen? Am I going to be okay? Am I going to be fully recovered from COVID? Am I being forced to play cricket? It's a bit of a nightmare. And like I said, everybody's on a case-by-case basis, and fortunately we've got good people around them to help and support. Today was very, very, very important to just get the boys out in the park, reacquaint themselves with each other, have a run around, enjoy some fresh air, and then sort of get a timeline and plan together that, right, these are the games that we're really targeting to perform and play well and start mentally preparing for those games.
I bet that felt really good for them to alleviate a lot of those anxieties, just to be able to get together again. And that's the great strength of cricket, isn't it, as a team sport?
100%, Bryce. You hit the nail on the head there. Just getting outside, and we play this silly game called soccer volleyball, which I don't have enough time to explain, but it's a ridiculously stupid game, but it's just a bit of banter for all the players, and it's just good that boys are having a run around, laugh and a joke, and then it's just a bit of a walk around the MCG just to reacquaint themselves with the surroundings and each other, and then just sort of have a couple of basic knock-ups in the nets, just to get the intensity and juices flowing, which we're going to take at the back end of the tournament. We believe we're going to win 4 out of our next 6 in order to make the finals, and that's what our goal is for.
Well, I think you're every chance to do it. How many players do you get back in for your next game?
Well, about 11.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah, so somebody told me it's like the Geelong Footy Club missing out their first 18 players and then you have 4 available. So, and choosing VFL players and or waffle players, whoever they get, in order to play the next couple of games. But then we get our first team back in for the Adelaide Strikers game, which I think will be on Monday now in Melbourne too, which is quite handy. And it's handy having your first choice 11 players back. It's quite comforting.
David, was there any disappointment on your part that, I mean, you guys had to fill your team with, players from below, but some other teams, when they're impacted by COVID, had their games postponed. Were you a little bit disappointed with the way that was kind of managed?
I was exceptionally annoyed. Basically, our brief was the game was postponed against the Scorchers at Marvel Stadium. You have 48 hours to get 11 fit and firing players to play at the Junction Oval and then and the derby match at the MCG. So, and doing all this while we're in our beds, isolating from our friends and family over Christmas period. So, yeah, it wasn't easy. And then the boys who played, they equipped themselves really well, but it just wasn't the Stars brand. It wasn't the way we wanted to play our cricket. We want to play an attractive and aggressive brand of cricket, and we just weren't able to do that. And it was extremely frustrating just to watch from the couch, seeing the boys try their socks off to get the result for the boys, but we just couldn't fill out our best team. And I do think we were sort of harshly done by and harshly dealt with, but let's just see what happens later on in the competition. The precedent's been set now, so hopefully we get all our healthy boys back, and if other teams happen to go down, well, the rules have been set.
David, good luck for the rest of it. You've certainly been to hell and back the last week or so, mate, but all the very best once your boys are back on the park, and thank you very much for having a chat to us.
Absolute pleasure, boys. You take care.